Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again here on YouTube, and welcome back to the Obscure Wrestling DVDs series. We're on episode 3 today. We have Chris Benoit, The Aftermath. I'll go over everything with that DVD in just a second. So let me explain a bit more about the series again. I'm on the quest to try and find the shittest DVD out there, the shittest wrestling DVD or Blu-ray out there, and put myself through the torture of watching all of these absolutely bizarre wrestling DVDs that you wouldn't usually consider buying or perhaps not watching just by judging the book by the cover, or in this case the DVD by the cover. I have, as I said, for this episode, I have Chris Benoit, The Aftermath. Let's have a look at it then. So RF Video proudly presents. I don't know why they used the word proudly. I'm not sure I would have used that to present this DVD. So yeah, that's basically the cover artwork there with the shadow of like Chris Benoit doing his diving headbutt, and we've got flowers at the bottom there. There's the DVD disc. There's the spine. Here's the back. It's quite a chilling photo to look at of Chris Benoit, well, his eye anyway, with his famous like claw marks, the Wolverine claw marks going through. So I'll read it to you, and then I'll go over what happened with the DVD when I watched it, etc. So, in a business such as pro wrestling, it is hard to be shocked or surprised by anything. But on one weekend in June of 2007, the wrestling world collectively dropped to its knees in awe. The bodies of wrestling superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel were found in their suburban Georgia home. The information that would come out regarding their untimely passing would be some of the most shocking in recent memory. RF Video proudly presents Chris Benoit, The Aftermath. Hear firsthand the reaction from the legendary superstars that knew both Chris Benoit and Nancy, legendary names in pro wrestling, weigh in on the issues that arose following the tragedies and all of the events that took place. So, being more of a serious video for this one, and me not going absolutely crazy like I did with the first 2 episodes of this series, this was a lot different to what I was expecting it to be. I thought it was just going to be like a really shit, cheaply made DVD, like what I experienced with those other 2 episodes, as I said. Sorry, guys. But this was absolutely emotionally difficult for me to watch. I sat through it. It's presented as a documentary, but with lots of interviews with wrestlers all put together. But they've cut them up. They cut up the interviews. I would have rather they'd stuck to a wrestler at a time speaking about the tragedy rather than keep cutting and just showing parts of it. Well, for the most anyway, that's what they did. We have divided opinions from different wrestlers about what had happened and everything and their feelings on it. We get some that would who would be really good friends of Chris's, sticking up for Chris, saying, for example, that he must have just had a fight with his wife Nancy, and she had fallen and knocked her head, and he accidentally killed her. He left it a day to decide what he wanted to do, and he was freaking out and probably thought, I don't want to go to prison. So he decided to take his son's life as well as his own, placed Bibles in front of them all. And yeah, well, we got that opinion from some of his friends, or one of his friends. And we have others that knew him but are dead against what he'd done, and they don't defend him at all. They were like, why would you do that to your 7-year-old son? And why would you do that to your wife? There were others that said about his brain being like that of a 90-year-old man, when the post-mortem or whatever it was done, the autopsy or whatever the fuck it's called, that when someone dies, and they found that his brain was all mushed and horrible, and he must have suffered so many concussions over his career, and all those times he'd done that diving headbutt. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. I'm just going by what theories are all out there and everything else. It was a very interesting documentary. As I said, it's very emotional in places. The Iron Sheik, Honky Tonk Man, sorry guys, and New Jack all sit together in one part of this DVD where they all give their opinion on what had happened, and it's very, very emotional and very moving to listen to what they have to say, their feelings towards Chris Benoit and what he'd done. Absolutely strong. Iron Sheik, for example, you wouldn't have expected him to have acted the way, not acted, sorry, to have expressed the way his feelings. You wouldn't expect that of him if you've watched him growing up, wrestling and his interviews and everything. Completely different side to him. He's really letting all of his feelings and his anger out and his frustration of what had happened. New Jack as well, just the same. He certainly gives his opinion, and he definitely means it. So did Iron Sheik. Honky Tonk Man, he has mixed feelings on it. He would say, "Oh, I can understand why he killed his wife, because I've had like girlfriends and wives in the past that I feel like killing." And I thought to myself, what a fucking thing to say, What a strange thing to say, especially on camera. You're like admitting you want to murder somebody. That's fucked up. And yeah, but that was an interesting part of the documentary. Another one that stood out was right near the end, the last person that got interviewed, Billy Jack Haynes. I don't know if many of you are aware of him. He, as far as I know, I don't think of him as like a big name wrestler. Not really. No offense to the guy, but he's not like up there with the Hulk Hogan's and the Stone Cold Steve Austins and those kind of wrestlers. But he really has it in for Vince McMahon, and he has a very strange conspiracy theory as well. Well, first of all, before I tell you what he'd said, I've read that he's convinced Vince McMahon tried to kill him on several occasions, and very bizarre. Anyway, Billy Jack Haynes was a friend of Chris Benoit's, eventually of Chris Benoit's. Apparently, sorry guys, trying to get all my words out again. So I was quite emotional watching this. It's just really, it's not drained me. It's just, I feel really sad and a little depressed, to be honest. But yeah, back to Billy Jack Haynes. He has this strange conspiracy theory that Chris Benoit had an argument with Nancy and found out that Vince McMahon had been having an affair with Nancy. It had been going on for a while, and they argued about that. And he wasn't convinced that their 7-year-old son Daniel was his son, so he killed her, and he killed his son as well. It's just strange. All these different theories from different people, and apparently it's just getting covered up, and there's no truth that's actually came out about it. Well, I don't know what to believe. I just go by what I've heard, this double murder suicide, and I've just left it at that. I don't really have a personal opinion other than that to say about it. I've just sat through this, very similar to the Dark Side of the Ring episode, I guess. Possibly they've used some of the or borrowed some of the interviews from this to put in that episode that they had. But yeah, this wasn't what I was expecting at all. It was, like I said, very emotional to watch and very interesting as well. Even my partner watched it with me, and she was really taken aback by it all. It's I recommend it to people who are interested to hear thoughts and opinions on other wrestlers, from other wrestlers about this. It's interesting to see see and hear what they have to say. And I wasn't aware that the 7-year-old Daniel was autistic as well. That's really sad and heartbreaking. Yeah, I recommend you give it a watch, guys. This isn't a bad DVD at all, and I was expecting it to be. I don't know how I managed to get this in my possession. I think I may have bought like a bundle of random wrestling DVDs at a really low price off of somebody. I can't really remember, but yeah, I wouldn't have actually gone out my way to have purchased this because, well, the cover just doesn't look interesting. But as they say, never judge a book by a cover, or in this case, the DVD by its cover. It's good. It is a good watch, but very emotional. I recommend it, but only to, like I said, only to probably Chris Benoit fans. Chris Benoit as a wrestler, I liked. I think, my own opinion, this is he's arguably the best technical wrestler that's ever lived. Definitely. He was one hell of a worker in the ring, and I appreciate him for what he'd done in wrestling. Anything outside wrestling, which includes what he has done, here, or what he had done here, I don't agree with it, and I don't condone it at all. It's been a bit of a strange review for me, guys, so I am very sorry. Yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, this one, guys. I say go and try and seek out a copy and give it a watch. If you've already seen this, let me know in the comments below. I'm actually, like I said, I actually didn't mind watching it. It was entertaining, not entertaining. What's the right word for it? Not entertaining, but it was a good watch. But like I said, very very powerful, emotionally moving. But it was interesting to hear and see what the wrestlers who knew him had to say about everything. Yeah, guys. As I said, comment below, please, and give me a thumbs up if I deserve one today for this. And thank you for subscribing. And then in the upcoming episodes, anyway, we're going to be looking at Gone But Not Forgotten, The Ladies of Wrestling. This is a Wrestling Network presents. And I've heard I've heard bad things about WrestleCrate DVDs, and this looks like this is going to be the first one I get to pick on. But I give it a chance. I give them all a chance, as I said. We'll see how well this one delivers. So the best of Cactus Jack in Japan, I think that is, or the Japanese tournament or something it was. Japanese legendary tournament, a King of Deathmatch champion. I don't know. I can't, for some strange reason, work out what that says. But yeah, I'll find out what it is, the actual title. But yeah, we'll just go with best of Cactus Jack in Japan for now. It just looked like, one of those I could have a good go at, trying to tear apart if I can. Find a way to tear it apart. Is it going to be a contender for one of the worst wrestling DVDs? We'll see. But like I said, I don't hear good things about these WrestleCrate DVDs. So I'm not going into that one with high expectations. This one should be interesting, though. This Gone But Not Forgotten, Ladies of Wrestling. So yeah, they're going to be the next 2 episodes. I don't know what order I'm going to do them in yet. but we'll have to wait and see. So episode 4 and 5, or 4 and 5, we'll see. But yeah, that was the Chris Benoit, the aftermath. Sorry guys, I tried to cheer up the video a bit at the end there, but I just couldn't do it. All right guys, I'm gonna sign off now. You all stay safe, look after yourselves. I'll catch you again soon. Thank you for watching. Peace.